This week at the Warhammer Summer Skirmish Preview, we got to take a look at a whole lot of new miniatures, including new Kroot. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm Angela, you're watching Hobby Night. First up, we're looking at what we're getting for Warcry, because it's been a long time since I feel like we've actually gotten anything for Age of Sigmar Warcry, and I'm excited for this because we're getting a brand new setting set in the Gnarlwood outside of the 8-point star, which is great. We've got some cool new terrain and a very cool new faction, which I am very excited for, the Rotmire Creed. And the thing that I love about these swamp boys, these delicious little swamp boys, is their platform shoes. I love them. I just love that they're on stilts. They honestly remind me of the swamp water benders in Avatar: The Last Airbender, if I'm perfectly honest. Like, I saw them and I was just like, I get those vibes, and I kind of dig it because I loved that particular group from the series. I also just want to call out that in particular, I love the guy with the long pole hook who has the hood and sort of what honestly kind of looks like a flute hanging in front of his face, but I think it's just a shield covering his face. And it just reminds me of Mortarion. Like, that look with especially the hood and the covering, just, it gives me Mortarion vibes, and my headcanon is that is him in the Age of Sigmar world as a mortal, still working for chaos, but kind of in a different vibe. At least that's how I feel about it. Now, we aren't just getting our swamp boys, we are also getting more Horns of Hashut, which we have seen previously, but they came out separately. So we know what they look like, we've seen them before. I do like these guys, but they're not my favorite of some of the Warcry designs. Now, I also mentioned that we're getting some cool new terrain because we've changed settings. Well, part of those settings is the Gnarlwood, and we get a lot of trees with that. And if you look at the terrain that they're getting in this set, they have a bunch of trees with platforms connected to them, and I assume that means we're going to put pathways between them, because I do know some of the old Warcry sets had little platforms and like barricades that you could put between the scaffolding, and I assume this one will have similar stuff because I know it's sort of a tiered game level that you want to have when you're actually playing Warcry. So overall, I'm pretty hyped for this particular set. Moving on to Warhammer Underworlds, we're going to be talking about the Hexbane hunters and how they are very old world feeling. I feel like they might have been meant for something tied to Curse City potentially, but overall, I actually am really excited for this particular expansion for the Neathermaze set for Underworlds. I haven't actually been super thrilled with some of the sets recently, so seeing these more witch hunter style models come out really makes me happy. Now, I do love our gentleman with the big witch hunter hat, but my favorites are actually the big guy with the huge axe and the giant gorget. I just think that gorget's amazing. I just want to paint it really badly. And I also think the crossbow guy just looks super cool. There's something about the way that they painted the metal on those two particular models that just sings to me, and I really want to pick this one up. I have a PSA, and that is that thick thighs save lives. And Games Workshop has thoroughly learned this with the newest set that's coming out for Blood Bowl, because gosh darn it, we're getting some Amazonians back, and I love them. It is specifically Kara Temple Harpies, and they are amazing. I think their thighs are glorious, their outfits are fantastic, and honestly, I just love the paint scheme on these particular models. When I see stuff from GW, I don't always gravitate towards their specific color palettes for when I want to pick up those same models. However, with these particular Blood Bowl models, I really want to try that color scheme. There's just something about it that I absolutely adore, and I just think it's really cool to have this particular team back, because we have not seen these guys, I think, in a really long time. I think their previous sculpts were quite old, so having fresh ones is fantastic. About you, but I'm really pleased that Necromunda has added in vehicles, because the new Goliath Mauler looks fantastic. It's a hybrid vehicle, so it can go on either tracks or on just tires and normal terrain, so it can choose how it wants to go over difficult terrain in the game, which is very cool. But the thing I like about it is the fact that you can actually have it either with the track version showing or the tire version, and it makes the bike look really cool either way. I don't know which way I'm going to be building mine if I get it, but overall, I'm really want to see more vehicles, and I'm really happy with the ones we've gotten so far. It's that time of the video where I interrupt to tell you about my Patreon, and to let you know that we just added a Discord server, which all tiers get access to. So if you're wanting a way to chat with me, share with me your projects, or just tell me what board games you're playing, definitely make sure to check the link below and check out my Patreon. Are you ready to head into the dark with Kill Team? Because I know that I am, because we're heading to a Space Hulk, and inside that Space Hulk, we're finding some new Imperial Guard, specifically some Void Breachers. I almost messed that up, but we kind of got back to it. Kind of. They're the Imperial Navy Breachers, aka the Void Breachers. They look badass, but the thing that I am more excited about are the new Kroot models, because holy shit, we're getting new Kroot models. I feel like we very rarely get any of the aliens that are supposed to be tied in with the Tau as actual models. We got one, to my memory, in Blackstone Fortress, maybe two in one of the expansions. I can't actually remember specifically, but like, we rarely get them. And the fact that we're actually getting some new Kroot in this particular set has me so hyped. I actually think they look amazing. I am sad because I do expect that this is going to be the only time we're going to be getting new Kroot. I don't think we're going to see additional Kroot or other aliens necessarily down the line, because they really like to do these sort of one-off tie-ins through Kill Team. However,
yeah, I'm sure they'll revisit the Tau in the 2040s.
I mean, yeah, probably. Like, it'll be a long time before it happens. But I am hyped that we at least have some now. And I'm very curious from all the Tau fans out there what your guys' feeling on these new Kroot models is. Are you super hyped to have them? Are you kind of sad about it like I am because you may not be getting more? I don't know. Tell me about it. But we also got, like I said, the Void Breachers. They look really cool. I do in particular like the guy with the shield. I just think the really heavy shields that GW's been doing recently has been awesome. And we got to take a little bit of a peek at what the terrain might be for this particular set. And it does seem like it's going to be an indoor set, because we are in fact on a Space Hulk. Specifically, it is the Gallowdark, which is a legendary Space Hulk that's been floating out there. Apparently it's got Kroot on it. And really, from the video and the previews of the images that we've seen on Warhammer Community's site, the terrain looks really tight and sort of narrow, which gives me honestly Dwarven Forge vibes. And one of the photos does show some actual flooring that looks like cool and paneled and like an actual interior of a spaceship. And if we are actually getting some flooring, I am hyped to all heck, because I want that for miniature photography. One of the reasons I don't do more with miniature photography sometimes is because I just don't feel like I have good floors specifically for them to stand on, and I don't always like to just use the mats. Like, I want it to actually be like miniature in a terrain, and I haven't built any like good floor terrain pieces myself. So if GW can just straight provide me some to just put underneath all of my sci-fi miniatures to have just generic space flooring, I want that. I know there are other companies that do it, but like on theme stuff is always like on point for me. So if it could be a literal Space Hulk, that would be cool, because then I can take my Space Hulk Terminators from the Space Hulk game and put them on it and just actually build out a column and then put Gene Stealers in it. And I think it would be really cool. And I'm rambling a little bit, but I'm just really excited for the potential of this, okay? Games Workshop had a really big week this week, because not only did we have everything that we just covered from the online preview for the Summer Skirmish games, but we also got to take a look at Angron, our big angry boy. And he is, in fact, huge and angry. And it's very, very good. We got some leaks of this guy a little earlier in the week, and Games Workshop just was like, well, crap, I'm gonna just put the preview of him out in full so everybody can stop speculating and just focus on how glorious he looks. And oh my God, really glorious he is. I cannot wait to get him on my hands, because honestly, looking at the model, despite the fact that there is a ton—
Did you need to get your hands on him?
Yes, get my hands on him. There's a lot of detail on this model, but it doesn't look overwhelming to me, oddly enough. Like, I actually think he's gonna be pretty easy to paint, all things considered, and that makes me really excited to actually do that. So I'm probably going to maybe be putting him on the channel. Be looking forward to that in the future. Let me know if that'd be something you'd be interested in. last but not least, we have the Deimos pattern Predator battle tank to take a look at, and it is cute, adorable, chonky, and loaded with guns like the rest of the tanks that we've been seeing coming out from Horus Heresy, and frankly, I have been absolutely loving it. Now, I've actually not picked up any of the new tanks with the exception of the one that comes in the Age of Darkness box set, but I plan to be because I just think they're all really, really cool, and I'd love to know which ones have you picked up already. I love these kinds of weeks when we get to take a look at a ton of new models. Make sure to tell me which thing was your favorite from the summer preview so that we can discuss it and I can tell you how it's the Blood Bowl that is the best thing that we got out of it, and there's nothing that you can tell me otherwise. I have been Angela. Before I head out, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons for making it so content like this can continue to happen. Thank you guys so very, very much, and I hope you all have a wonderful hobby night.